Well now, autumn is definitely upon us. The leaves are falling, which if it's wet on the ground is mighty slippery. And it gets very late, very early, or in other words, it gets pretty damn dark very early. And it's cool. It's not quite cold yet, but it's definitely cool. Consequently, I'm rocking my heated gloves because I don't want cold hands. Now I'm not a fan of bulky gloves. Excuse me. But unfortunately, that goes with the territory of heated gloves. If you want to keep your hands warm, then they are going to be a bit on the bulky side, and I'm less of a fan of cold hands, so I'll put up with the bulky gloves. And I've completely switched to well, not actually completely. I haven't got the warmest of my jackets on. I've got the medium one, the sort of autumn spring jacket. So all the lightweight stuff has been put away for the autumn and winter and spring, and won't be used again until we get into summer next year. But the cold weather's not going to stop me from riding the bike. Now these particular gloves, and I think this is the case with most of them, I actually got them plugged into the directly into the bike, so the cables run up my arms, down my back, and I plug in just behind my backside. But I've got batteries as well. They just don't last as long as the manufacturer says they're supposed to. So with them directly plugged into the bike, I can absolutely guarantee I'm going to keep warm hands. I'm wearing my leathers all the time on there, my leather trousers all the time on the bike. They've got knee armour, so that keeps my knees warm. I pretty much always wear motocross boots anyway. Well, they're actually not motocross boots. They look like motocross boots, but they're enduro boots because they've got grippy soles rather than smooth soles. I pretty much wear them all the time anyway. Back in my motocross racing days, I suffered quite a few lower leg, ankle and foot injuries from spills and bloody big rocks being kicked up and all the rest of it, and I just became paranoid about protecting my feet and lower legs. So that's really why I do that, but fortunately they're warm as well, so. bit too warm in the summer. But there are those that talk about seasons. Well, of course we do have summer, autumn, winter, spring, so we have those seasons. But I mean people talking about biking seasons. I never really got that. It's kind of my route to sanity. And if I lock this on my other bike up, which is also wired for these gloves I might add, but if I locked either of my bikes up for 6 or 7 months of the year, I'd go stir crazy. Yeah, I could go out in the car with its heated seats and heated this and heated that, but it's not the same. Car to me has always been a means of getting from A to B when the weather's foul, and or if I need to carry stuff. Like I have to use my car when I'm working. I carry a lot of tools and PPE and stuff with me, so I just wouldn't get it on a bike. So cars are kind of a necessity, and I dislike a car, but I don't really take any pleasure from it. So yeah, I ride all year round. Two weather conditions I really dislike riding in, and I won't. Basically, I won't ride in them unless I get caught out in them. And that's fog, thick fog, and any kind of snow. In fact, probably fog is my least favourite. I've always suffered a little bit of paranoia about being tail-ended, about somebody running into the back of me. As standard, a bike only has one tail light. I mean, I've fitted an additional LED strip that acts as both a tail and brake light to this, so it's a bit brighter at the back. But even so, I often think about it. In fact, the very first incident I ever had on a motorcycle, I was only a few months into it. I was 16. It was kind of November, December time. I was riding to school, and there was traffic coming up to a junction. I needed to turn off at this junction, so I wasn't filtering up the inside of anyone. I was just sat in the traffic, and it was in a speed limit, and we were just crawling forwards, occasionally coming to a stop. Anyway, we did come to a stop, and the lady behind me, lovely old lady, drove her Morris Minor into the back of my bike. Now, it didn't knock me off, which is good. It had chrome bumpers on it, metal chromed bumpers on it, this car did. They were obviously a bit rotten because she actually on my back wheel, and I lurched forward but stayed on it, and she put a little bit of a dent in her front bumper and a big pile of rust fell out. I did feel for her a bit. Absolutely zero damage to my body, which I'm glad of. But ever since that, we've got a few spots of rain going on. But ever since that, and that's the only time it ever happened, ever since that day, I've always been conscious and heard horror stories and seen horror pictures since we got the internet of people who have been rear-ended on a bike, and you know, it can knock you off, it can crush you if you get hit between traffic. There's some pretty nasty stuff can happen to you. So that's why I rock an extra tail light, and that's no guarantee. It only takes somebody to be distracted, and that happens way more nowadays than it ever used to. I mean, pretty much every car now looks like the dashboard looks like it came off the Starship Enterprise. That many buttons and lights and infotainment and all that kind of crap that you get in cars now. Plus people, although it's illegal, people do still mess with their mobile phones. Now, I don't get that. I struggle to sit in the quiet of my living room or in the pub or wherever I might be, but to be sat down relaxing and send a text, I have to really concentrate on it. How the hell do you do it when you're driving? I don't think I could even do it. If I tried, I definitely would have an accident. So generally, if people want to get hold of me or they send me a message, I'll respond to it when I get to the other end of my journey. So I mean, that goes for on a bike as well, because my phone's in my pocket, but it's not connected to me in any way. So when I get to where I'm going, which is for a hot beverage at Dragon Soul today, but when I get there, I'll have a look at my phone, but until I get there, it stays in my pocket. Yeah, so back to the weather and the seasons. I mean the actual seasons, not the so-called motorcycling season. Yeah, I don't know what the temperature is today. It's cool. I can tell it's cool. If I lift my visor, I can feel it on my face. It's not cold exactly. Bone dry. The only thing you just got to be mindful of is those leaves. You know, they tend to gather on the wet patches on the road. So yeah, that's just one extra thing you've got to keep an eye out for. Of course, they're not all fallen yet either, so got a few more weeks of this to come. So I guess what I'm saying is, get yourself some nice warm gear and get out there on the bike. You'll be able to maintain your sanity. That's another thing as well. Modern motorcycle gear is way better than it was when I started. We didn't have armour, we didn't have all these trick insulated linings that you get now. Heated gloves didn't exist. It has made riding a motorcycle in the inclement weather or the cool weather way more accessible and easier than it ever used to be. Which suits me just fine. Right, here I am, hot beverage time.